Hello everyone, welcome back to the Fusion Cast. I remain your host, Frisbee, and today we are here with a very special guest, a seasoned engineer. He deals with solar panels and he has unique knowledge about um, the electrical sides of installations when it comes to houses, it comes to companies. He knows everything about it. And today I'm here with engineer Pius Chibuike Azubike. Welcome to
Rooms and a whole lot of places. It has to do with the sun, so it's a renewable energy and a thing of joy that currently I'm doing what I study in school. So it gives me joy, empowering people, homes, offices, and schools, communities, and so on.
So what exactly piqued your interest to say you want to study about solar energy? Because this day and age, I think about as of the time you started, it wasn't something that was common or rampant.
That's all. It was not common. It was not rampant. Back then, we used to beg people to get it. And though solar is costly, I know, but on the long run, it's not.
When you think about how much, especially in our country, how much you spend on electricity,
diesel, electricity, and the noise pollution part of it also. You can't compare it to solar. Solar on the long run saves you money, saves you from noise pollution, environmental, different kinds of environmental pollutions. Solar cannot be compared. The benefits of solar cannot be compared aside.
Okay, I forgot to mention this, but you also deal in CCTV.
We also do in CCTV, installing cameras, because you can't install cameras without solar and inverter. That's what gives the light. Yeah, that's what gives the light. Without power, the cameras can't function well. To be useless.
Well, is it that you can't use like direct electricity or like generators to power this?
Well, you can use generators, but they are not dependable. If the fuel runs out or the diesel runs out or NEPA takes light, it goes down, shuts down. CCTV on its own is just a closed circuit television. It needs a camera and the screen also to display. So I need power. Power is very, very important. So CCTV without power is totally useless. You need to be standby always 24 hours.
So you can keep watching.
Yes.
Okay, so how long, like, when did you get into the business and how long have you been in the business?
I could say for 5 years. I've been steady on this business. I've been growing from one job to the other, gaining and acquiring experiences. That's been very, very. Though sometimes we face difficulties and challenges, but I've been overcoming them step by step. Knowledge increases.
So, can you tell us about one of the difficulties that stands out to you, like you faced over the years? Something that whenever you think back on, you're always like, man, I came this whole thing.
One of the difficulties I faced, a failure in the charge controller. It was the charge controller failed and it was charging the battery without control, and it was a tubular battery. So the battery was charging and it was overfloating and the water was coming out of the battery. At that point in time, I have not faced such. It was my first time. So I have to call those who have been there before me. See, have you experienced this kind of things? So I have to call and say, okay, do it this way, do it that way, and I'll overcome that challenge.
You didn't say you have to do it on your own.
No. There are people there before you. Have to consult them. You understand? In every field, there are people there before you.
For people like us now that have not been in the solar panel business, what is the charge controller? What is
Okay, let me break it down. Let me start from the inverter, the battery. Let me just break everything down to pieces. To a layman that will understand what I'm really saying. Understand? So let me start from the inverter. Then I go then to the battery, then the charge controller. Let's say you want to install a one battery. Every battery is 12 volts. Those nowadays we have 24 volts, we have 48 volts. But majorly, most batteries are 12 volts. But let's say you want to install a 12 volt battery system, solar system, inverter system. You just need a battery. That battery is for charging, where you store your energy. So that when, let's say, the sun goes off or the source of charging is gone, you use from the battery to supply to the house or to the building. So you need the battery, you need the inverter. Inverter is that what we call it, is the system that converts from DC to AC.
Okay.
Let's say the sun is bringing that energy from the solar panel. The solar panel receives the energy from the sun, transmits it to the charge controller. The charge controller now, the charge controller converts the energy.
Okay.
Then it controls it so it will not overcharge the battery. So when the battery is full, it stops. That's the work of the charge controller. It regulates charge. Understand? Then it sends it to the battery to charge. Then the inverter now, what the inverter does is to convert that DC that is coming from the sun, convert it to AC for a nice supply. Because you cannot use direct DC that is coming from the sun to supply to the house. Because the house on its own, majorly in Nigeria, our house is powered by AC, which is alternating current. DC is direct current, while AC is alternating current. So that's the work of the inverter to convert from DC to AC to power the house.
So basically, it's the inverter, the charge controller,
The battery, then the solar panel.
the solar panel. That's wonderful. So, what are the, because like you said, there was a time when you have to beg people for them to use solar, because they were not really sure. What are the common misconceptions that you faced during that time, or even till now, that people have about
Till
solar?
now, people say solar is expensive. Yes, solar is very, very expensive. It's very, very expensive. Before you buy, right now, back then, it's a little bit cheaper than even now.
Change government.
So things are high. Back then, you can, with 500, 400, you can do a 12 foot. But now, you're looking at 900, 1 point something, just like that. So things are quite expensive. Majorly, it's just the price.
It's just the price.
Majorly the price.
It's just the price. Now, most people feel like, because I've asked some questions, most people feel like solar won't last for a very long time. It's not really long term. How true is that?
Majorly, most people think that way because most installers don't educate the users, clients on how to use it. If you don't use a system very well, to break down. If you have a battery, let's say you have a battery, most of these batteries are 1 year warranty, some of them 1 year, 6 months. If you are using a battery, there are cells inside that battery. Don't allow the battery to run down to 0 volts before you off the battery. When you keep doing that, you make that battery, the cell of the battery, weak. If it is supposed to serve you 3 years, make the life cycle, the lifespan will now shorten down. So that's when people, let's say you have spent a lot of money, expecting this system to last for like 3 years, and you're getting 1 year and a half, and you're getting 2 years, you become angry. But the installer or you don't get the perfect knowledge on how to use it very well.
So if I'm to install a solar panel in my house now, and I per se, let's say the solar panel is to last 3 years, is there anything that, because definitely it's a machine to break down at one point, how consistently am I going to be changing parts or buying new equipment to keep the solar panel, or how am I going to maneuver into using it for at least 20 to 30 years?
Okay. On the side of the solar panel, that one can last more than 25 years.
Okay.
Except there's a crack on it. It will damage those cells that enable you to receive charges from the sun. It can last as long as 25 years plus. Then for the inverter, the inverter can last as long as the only thing that can damage the inverter may be wrong connections, thunder, lightning. Maybe the installer did not connect earthing to the inverter through the earthing of the building, or they did not find out before you claim an inverter. You check if the house have an earthing. The inverter. Make sure it is well earthed. If not thunder, then we destroy it. And lightning and the rest of them. So those are the things you do to protect those systems. Then for the battery, you use the battery so it will not get down to 0 volts. Make sure it is fully charged. Make sure it is fully charged. And when it shows you red, don't say, let me just charge my phone. I want to use this phone. I want to charge or I want to make up. Consider the lifespan of that battery, the cell of the battery. How it allow you to charge? The battery is not running, it's your own. When it's charged, you can now use it. But if you continue using it at that 0 volts continuously, leaking the cells of the battery, you die.
So, in a nutshell, if it's used properly, you can use it for
3 or 4 years before you get
battery. Okay. So, you can use every other thing for eternity, but
the battery itself, that's the storage of the power itself that gives light to the house.
So, I want to know the current state of this solar energy and inverters. Now, I know it is different from how it was when it first came out. So, what can you say about the evolution of solar energy and inverters?
The evolution, the difference is very clear. Back then, we are begging people to come and do it, but right now people are embracing by themselves. Everybody wants to do solar because they have seen the benefits, they have seen the need. You just charge from the sun, you don't need to buy fuel, just get your panels, sun is charging your battery, you use it, and no noise, you enjoy it in the night, your house is lighting up, there's no noise of generators, there's no smoke at all. So the benefits they are.
So if you are installing a solar panel in a house, let's say, and the customer wants to use all appliances in the house,
to use all the appliances cost much because that would be a very high budget. Some customer will tell you remove this, remove fridge, remove AC, so that the cost will reduce. But if you want to do everything, the cost will increase. You need to buy more panel, you need to buy more battery, and the rest of them. You buy a higher kV of your inverter, a bigger one, so the money will increase. So the money. What you want to use it for determines how much you spend. Cost of money we start with.
So I want to know now, is there any difference when it comes to location? For instance, now for places like villages now, is there any difference? Because I know that in villages they have more space. Understand? Like here in the city, there are less space when you want to mount your panel. Is there any particular difference in how you install in places that lack space or places that don't have space compared to places that
So, like for the panels now, some people will tell you, I don't want you to mount it on my roof due to some stories they have heard. Some installer will mount, there will be leakages on the roof. They will build something like a carport. So when they build that carport, they mount it there, but it will cost you wires from there to where the inverter is. That's just it. But some people say, just put it on my roof, just make sure it does not leak.
doesn't cause any form of leakage. So, in that sense, it doesn't really matter. You can use
any
your solar
space,
anywhere, depending on your choice and how you want to mount it. That's wonderful. So, now when it comes to CCTV, you said closed circuit solution. When it comes to CCTV, can you give us an experience or one of the places that you have installed camera, the story behind it, one of the places that you cannot forget about in your 5 years?
One of the places is a mini supermarket. And that those cameras, CCTV cameras that have solar panels, small solar panel installed on it. The experience is very nice. You can be in your house, monitor what is happening here.
Oh, you can directly monitor it to your phone.
It's connected. It's a closed cycle. It's not like an open cycle. Most like all these TV stations, they are open cycle because once you just put your antenna, you get the signal. But this one, this password there is a closed cycle. you don't have the password, you cannot access.
Is it expensive to install?
It's not expensive to install. There are cameras that are 150, 120. There are cameras that are depending on what you want. We have one way, we have single, double way. Cameras that view 365 round. It gets everything around the environment. So there are different types of them. It depends on what you want. And this your cameras needs steady power supply. Steady power supply. When there is no power supply, I cannot see anything.
So I want to ask two questions, and those questions they go hand in hand. I don't know how you are about this. If a businessman, let's say, wants to get into this solar business, or a young person wants to gain knowledge and start working as a solar engineer, electrical engineer, how do you see them? How do they do it, or how would they think about doing such a thing?
The person will have to meet us. Like, let's say you want to learn, just like you going for an apprentice, you can learn freedom, you approach us, see, I want to learn. They will give you the guidelines and give you what to do. Tell you things maybe you bring. Then you start going to field the tools, give you the theory part and also the practical aspect of it, and what to guide you.
So the best way that you think youngster or anybody wants to learn is to meet.
Meet someone that yes.
Is that there are no courses in higher institution?
Courses in higher institution, most Nigerian universities use theory to use practical. After the theory, physical, those physical experiences.
For instance, like the one you gave about someone that
yes, physical contact is very, very important. Those physical experiences is important.
From your experience, what are the most mistakes people make when installing CCTV? That's even with the engineers now. This is the most mistake that you've noticed that most of the time they make. Like even they call you to correct or something.
Most mistakes I've noticed is them installing CCTV generator, orange generator, the best is solar because after installation, once light leaks or generator goes, we cut off every. That's where the data stops. The data the camera is sending to the screen ends till there's another power supply.
Can you tell us about mistakes we also make when installing solar?
And solar panels, most mistakes are some installer. Let me not say most. Some installer they don't calculate the tip because this installation involves calculation. Let's say you want to power, you want to pump, you want to go to a place, maybe a factory, they have like 10 inverters, and you want to give them steady water. You have to calculate everything that is inside that place, the inverter and what it will involve, the panels you will use. You have to calculate the inverter you will use, the batteries you will use. Like the panels, now let's say someone is connecting the panel and the panel is, let's say it's giving you a maximum input voltage of 50 volts and you are using like 6 panels and you want to, let's say you want to connect the 3 kVA with 2 batteries and you have 6 panels and your tractor drive is 150 volts. And each of the panel maximum input voltage will be giving you like 50. When the sun is very high, it's giving you 50. Then you have like 6 panels. You have to calculate it very well that with the charge controller, the maximum input voltage of the charge controller, calculate it very well so it will match. If you go and connect it 3 in series and let's say the sun increases and it gets to 150, which is equal to the charge controller,
So it must not be
blow up. No, there must be a little bit space. A little bit space so that the charge controller can work perfect. So the best connection in that 6 panels to that charge controller like 150 is 2. So even if the sun increases, you will get 100 and something. It will not equal to that 150 volt, which is the maximum input voltage of that charge controller. So it will not blow up the charge controller. That's what some installers do. Calculation of voltage. Yes, calculation of voltage. And know the actual KVA inverter that is appropriate for a building that will carry such load. That calculation is really matters in installation.
So I have one more question. When it comes to products that we use for installation, like say batteries, inverter panels, even the system, so what can you tell us about the top pick? The top ones that you would always recommend? Wow. Okay.
They give you what.
So everybody should look out for that.
They are reliable. Especially the batteries. Yeah. You use them as instructed.
Wow.
It lasts as long as 2 years. Even the inverters go for India. They are best. Reliable, very, very reliable.
So your best advice now for people that don't have or are not yet ready to invest in solar.
My best advice for them, well, solar is costly. Majorly, very, very small. Let me get the start from the battery. Get all those things. Before you know it, you have assembled a little. You can, maybe you have assembled maybe a 12 2-panel system. You can start up with it. Maybe as God bless you, money comes. Can increase your system to 12 volts. Then you can break it for 8 volts. Just like that. A 12 volt is just one battery. 24 volt system is 2 battery. A 48 volt system is 4 battery. 36 volt system is 3 battery. Just like that.
As for this is what you do. Is there, for you to say that I don't have, is there a way for the customers to meet you and say, okay, over time, I want to make a payment plan, installmental payment or whatever to get these things? Do you offer such services?
Then, back then we do, but now due to some experiences we have had in the past, we don't. But some people will tell you, let me pay her. When you finish it, you start calling. When you finish, start calling them, start giving you story. If you won't tire, it's like actually I'm disturbing. Sometimes you call, they will not call. Or it's like you are just disturbing them. So the best is just make the payment. We do it for you. Just like that. Just make the payment. Even if you have gotten the okay, it's remaining the installation. You can come there, mount it for you. You can pay half of the installation. When we are done with the installation, you can complete the installation.
So how long does it take to install panels, inverter, and batteries?
It depends the system we are installing. Let's say we are installing a containment system. Let's say it depends the time we start, the time of the day. Let's say we come by 8, before 6 p.m. we are done.
So it's a day job.
It's a day job. When you have the right materials, all the materials are available, all the equipment you want to work with available. You have your workforce, people that will work with you are available to assist. Right? It's a day job. But if you are doing a big project, let's say you want to power maybe like 40-something panels, that can take you like 2 to 3 days. But 12 will system, 48 will system, the day job. As long as you start early in the morning. But if you start in the afternoon, you can maybe finish some of them.
But in essence, it doesn't take more than 24, 48 hours. Let's say 2 days.
2 days they are done.
Thank you so much for sharing your 2 cents. Because I really appreciate it. We hope to see you again. Please meet engineer Pius. His contact will be displayed somewhere on the screen. Meet him, ask questions. He offers the service nationwide. And I assure you that you will get your job done to your taste.
Even if you want to use solar to pump your water, we do that. Use solar, pump your water. If you want to use it for a school to pump your water, offer such services.
Solar panel can handle everything. Depends on your choice.
Your budget, your choice.
Alright, thank you very much for joining us. Guys, we'll see you again, same time next week.